Hello! I thought I would do another puzzle. Today, I'll be doing the big crossword on Puzzmo. And this is actually a bit of an anomaly for Puzzmo. Usually, Puzzmo has a daily MIDI size. The MIDI size is maybe 60 to 100 white squares, something like that. But today I'll be doing this big crossword. It is a 15 by 15, and I am excited to play it. So, with that, I might as well just get started. Good luck to all, and maybe you can try to solve alongside me. So, Sierra Blank, feat achieved twice by Sierra Williams. I'm not actually sure what that is, but we'll keep moving. It has been delivered by, it might be delivered by conveyor belt. What is delivered by conveyor belt? I'm not sure. Scrooge says, bah, humbug. Hawaiian term encompassing concepts like love and compassion. I'm going to make a guess that that's aloha because I believe aloha has a couple of different meanings in Hawaiian. Made an initial poker payment? Could be anteed. You start a poker hand with an ante. Output of Norval, Miso, and Birth. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what these, I assume artists make, but I wonder what they make. Shared experience whose disappearance is often lamented, even if it even existed in the first place. Shared experience whose disappearance is often lamented. Let me turn up my screen brightness there for myself. I'm not sure. All right. When most dreams happen? When most dreams happen? In the AM. I don't know. Like French. Hold on a second. In REM sleep. Could that be what that is? REM? All right. Like French toast and frittatas. I don't know. Sugary. They taste good. Gamer without much experience is probably a noob. I was a noob once in many games. Word before signs or statistics. Let's see. Well, there are stop signs and yield signs, and there are a whole bunch of kinds of statistics, so I'm not quite sure. Manage to snag? Manage to snag. I don't know. 3 plus 3 divided by 3 is 2. 3 times 3 times 3 is 9, excuse me. I thought there were 3 3s there. It would have been 27, which is 3 up to the 3. I'm a big math nerd. As well as a puzzle nerd. So what's done is done? That's a long answer. We're not sure. At least I'm not. Leave sitting on the stove for too long. Maybe you've burnt your food. Type of garden tool that thwarts Sideshow Bob on the Simpsons episode Cape Fear. Could it be a rake? I don't know. Sideshow Bob, I love The Simpsons. I have a Simpsons t-shirt that I sometimes record in. Run out of battery is when you die. It's a very dramatic way to lose power in your iPhone. It has died. Act as a go-between. Mediate? Could that be it? Maybe. Piece of a mosaic is a tile, I think. American dance style that fuses traditional Irish clogging and West African stepping. Could that be tap? Is tap American? Wall climbing plant? How about ivy? Lectured monotonously. It's like when you I don't know, run on or something like that. Like skinny dippers. Skinny dippers are naked. I wanted to do the acrosses first, but I think the time is going to be higher if maybe I mix in some of the downs. The time will be lower. Cognizance. Not quite sure. It's a big word. Needing to take a deep breath and count to 10, maybe. I don't know. Intrepid. I don't know. In the New York harbor, there is a large battleship called the Intrepid. It is a museum, and I've been there several times. Left or right of the goalposts. Left or right of the goalposts. I wonder if it is wide, which is sometimes a word for when you miss a field goal in football. Blank Marfa, sculpture of a luxury clothing storefront in a Texas desert. I don't know. Savory taste. I don't know how it's spelt, but the word I'm thinking is umame, but I don't know how it's spelt. Single pull-up, e.g., could be a rep, although it would be weird to do reps of one pull-up. Uneven, maybe odd, because it's a pun. When there's a, if you're following along for fun, but you're not super familiar with the crossword lingo, when there's a question mark at the end of the clue, it means it's a pun. Sometimes it means it's a pun. And in this case, I think uneven is odd. Actually, Brookes Husick, who is one of the founding members of Puzzmo, put out a pretty good newsletter at some point with rules and tips about how to read crossword clues. So maybe I can find that and link it down below if it's online. If you're new to crosswords, it is kind of a fun little tutorial on some of the things that you'll see in the clues. So, Japanese term for cognizance of the impermanence of things. I'm not quite sure. Spike with 5 films is probably Spike Lee. Reaches a conclusion, ends, maybe. Problem-free society could be a utopia. Some dictionary employees for short. Some dictionary employees for short? Am I reading that right? I didn't realize that books hire people. Most people born in August. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess Leos. Threaten to fall? Threaten to fall. I don't know. What do you do when you threaten to fall? You like wobble or something. All right. Catchphrase, I'm not sure. We also don't know if aloha is right, but we're onto the downs. Haircut, also called a lob. Excuse me. I'm not quite sure. Sailor's greeting is ahoy, probably. Blank and cheese. Could it be ham and cheese, like the sandwich? Business with swinging doors is a saloon. If you've ever seen a Western movie, saloons tend to have swinging doors. Do onto others. Concert memento, especially back when physical tickets were more of a thing. A stub. I have many concert stubs around this room here because I like to go to concerts. A woman must have money and a room of blank of her own if she is to write fiction. Virginia Woolf. Okay, I think it's her own. Non-canon term for an Apple product. Huh. Non-canon term. I want to know this one. What's the across here? It might be delivered by conveyor belt. It might be delivered by conveyor belt. I don't know. I think the downs are right, but that is a letter pattern that I'm not familiar with. Job that involves making the rounds. What job involves making the rounds? Like a watchman of some kind. Vicinity is probably area. You're in the same vicinity. It's often used with CSS. It's probably HTML. If you make websites, you will know that. Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter track with the lyric, say a prayer for what has been. Cowboy Carter must be a singer, and this must be their track, but I'm not quite sure what that is. Relaxing after a tough day at work. Unwinding. I went into work this morning, felt a bit sick, and then came home and thought I would make a puzzle video. So I am unwinding with a puzzle, although I am a bit sick. That's real. Squid's defense substance is probably ink. Ripped, tore, something to chew but not swallow. Gum. Do not swallow gum. It's bad for you, I think. Classic anatomy textbook casually is Grey's Anatomy, like the TV show. Piece of cricket equipment. You play cricket with a bat. NHL player. I don't know many NHL teams. A lot of the times, I think they're snow or winter themed, like the Penguins or something. I think the Penguins is a team. Like neglected gardens, probably weedy. Weedy? Is that the word? I've heard the mermaids singing. Don't take that blank with me. Don't take that tone with me is something a parent might say to a child. Baby frog is a tadpole. That is true. Bestowed. You bestow something onto somebody else. You have given it to them, kind of. Events with floats are parades. I love concerts. I also love parades. Branch out from the center. I don't know yet. You're not blank of me. You're not blank of me? You are not blank of me. I'm not quite sure. Tooth's protective barrier is enamel, which I think is spelled like that. The ugly duckling bird is a swan. Very cute and touching story. Too rich for my blood. Well, I think that's a utopia, but I'm not quite sure. I'm something. Okay. I changed my mind. Computer command is undo. Spongy growth on a hiking trail is probably moss. Utterly absorbed. Utterly absorbed. I don't know. I want that to be rep and I want it to be utopia, but we haven't really gotten anything down there. Great Lake near London, Ontario is probably Lake Erie. There's also the Erie Canal. Fun fact. Fruit cocktail fruit. Fruit cocktail fruit. Well, what's in a fruit cocktail? Melon and strawberry and sometimes pineapple. Pear? Could pear go in fruit cocktail? Let's do the rest of the downs while we're here. All right, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. I like the math problems in this. Great unhappiness is probably woe. Woe is me. I still don't know this. Sierra something. I don't believe I know that. Output of these, I guess they are art. Yeah, I thought they were artists. I guess they made art. Shared experience whose disappearance is often lamented. Shared experience. So maybe it's not ham and cheese, maybe it's mac and cheese, and I just made a silly mistake because I bet this is culture. Shared experience that's often lamented, something culture, I don't know. Like French toast and frittatas are tasty and they're for breakfast. Well, I don't think frittatas are for breakfast, but French toast is. That's maybe an idea. Maybe it's like foreign food, but I still don't know. Word before signs or statistics. I don't know yet. Can we do the down here? Job that involves making the rounds. All right, so we already talked about what a question mark means. It means it's a pun. So what has rounds? All sorts of things have rounds. A lot of games have rounds. Like a referee at a boxing match would be a job that involves making the rounds. But so is a bartender. Job that involves making the rounds. I wish this was bartender. Hold on a second. It's gotta be. Bartendist? Something is a little funky here. But when you get a round at a bar, you get a couple beers, that is brought to you by a bartender who makes them. What is done. Going back. No going back now, as I assume what that is. No going back now. There we go. Okay. Lectured monotonously with a monotone voice. You something. I want this to be an E. There are the Oilers. The Oilers. I thought it would be wintry and it was not, but I do not know much about hockey. I already said that. Needing to take a deep breath and count to 10, maybe. I don't know. I wish it was like weary or something, but it's not. We're going to get these, though. Japanese term for a cognizance of the impermanence of things. I don't know yet. Utterly absorbed? I don't know. Ooh, we're going to have trouble down here because I don't know what this is yet. Bartendist. That's not right. Bartender. Barista. It's got to be something, but I don't know. Needing to take a deep breath, I still don't know. All right. Cognizance is probably awareness, because when you're cognate, you're aware. You are not blank of me. You're not rid of me is probably what PJ Harvey was thinking. Intrepid is probably daring. Like the battleships are daring, so too is the Intrepid. sculpture of a luxury clothing storefront in the Texas desert. I'm not quite sure, but it's probably Prada, because Prada is a luxury brand. And then bestowed is awarded. Awarded and awareness. Those are some similar words. Catchphrase is probably your slogan. I don't have a slogan or a catchphrase. In fact, I don't know many people who do, but I know... I'll just stop that train of thought. Haircut, also called a lob. I don't know. But it could end in bob. A bob is a haircut. Manage to snag is probably to nab. I have nabbed you. Something that someone who has snagged things would say. Cowboy Carter track with the lyric, say a prayer for what has been. I wonder if this is amen, because amen is a prayer word. Like French toast and frittatas are eggy. Yeah. Shared experience whose disappearance is often lamented. How about a monoculture? Monoculture? These... I don't know if it's a monoculture, because there's I'm trying to think of what the theme words are. This says no-go, which is, 2 O's. No going back now. Well, actually, now that I think about it, the name of the puzzle, which I didn't look at until now, is Nothing Lasts Forever. So this idea that there are things disappearing, maybe it is monoculture, although I'm not quite sure what that is. So haircut, also called a lob, could be a long bob. And then this would be the Serena Slam. Excuse me. Why did I keep saying Sierra? Serena Slam. I believe that. All right. It might be delivered by conveyor belt. What is delivered by conveyor belt? I'm not quite sure. How about this is unto, not onto, because you do unto others. And then how about this is sushi? And then a non-canon term for an Apple product. A non-canon term for an Apple product is the iDevice. iDevice, maybe? And then there's vital signs and vital statistics. I haven't heard of vital statistics, but I've heard of vital signs. Job that involves making the rounds is definitely a bar something. Bartender. Unless bartender is spelled with 2 D's, and then something would just be terribly mixed up. We're almost 17 minutes in. We are 17 minutes in. Needing to take a deep breath and count to 10. How about angry? Could you be angry if you need to take a deep breath and count to 10? Branch out from the center. How about radiate? Because radiuses branch out from the center. Radiate. Is that how that is spelled? I'm not sure. All right, and then threaten to fall could be teeter, like you teeter and then you threaten to fall. Too rich for my blood is probably I'm out. And then this Japanese term for cognizance of the impermanence of things. Mono aware. Mono aware. Could this be wrapped? Utterly absorbed? Is that how it's spelled? Wrapped? And then I haven't heard of this before, but it's just probably because it's from Japanese culture. And I'm not, I don't know everything. Bartending. And I am, I hit bartending really fast, thinking that would be the end of the puzzle, but there must be a mistake in here somewhere if nothing happened. So let's see if we can find that. There's the Serena Slam. Sushi, ba, aloha, anteed. That makes some sense if you made an initial payment in poker. Maybe this isn't monoculture, although I believe in amen, slogan, long bob, ahoy, and mac and cheese. I've never heard of a long bob, but I've heard of a bob, which is a short haircut. You could make a long bob, then you could call it a lob. That makes some sense to me. But where were we? Noobs are beginners in games. You do have vital signs. You nab things. 2, 9, no going back now. Burn, rate, die, mediate, tile, tap, ivy. Droned, yeah, you drone on. Awareness, angry, daring, wide, Prada. Umame, which I think that's spelled right. Rep, odd. I didn't like the fact that there was a mono here and a mono here, because that's just rare. I mean, these could be great answers, but it's just rare in puzzles for them to start the same if they're not the same everywhere. So maybe the error is down here. This is Spike Lee. Reaches conclusions as end. Utopia. EDs. Some dictionary employees. Editors? Yeah. And then this is Leo's and this is Teeter. So let's see if it is down here. Enamel. 1. Undo. Moss. Swan. I'm out. Radiate. I think could be spelled with an I. And that's the puzzle. Spelled radiate wrong. Well, I spelled umame wrong. But that was fun. That was Nothing Lasts Forever, Puzzmo's big puzzle. It was by Bewilderingly, and it was edited by Brookes. Hinted by Matthew Stock. I rarely use the hints, but maybe I should do one at some point because maybe I should loop some of the hints into the puzzle videos at some point because they're good hints. They're fun. They're written separately and they're like easier clues. I don't think the monoculture ever asked. All right. Well, this was a fun puzzle. This was Puzzmo's big puzzle, and I'm excited for them to maybe do these in the future. But, you should go on Puzzmo and do their middies. The middies are a lot of fun. They have one every day. And that was the big puzzle. It took almost 20 minutes. And I had 21 plonks. That's pretty good. All right. With that, I think I'll wrap up. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.